All right, now let's talk about physical health. This next tip sounds silly, okay? Sounds like nothing, but it has, studies show profound effects on your health. It affects your insulin levels. It affects how your proteins are utilized in the body. Are they going to get shuttled to muscle or not? It affects appetite later in the day, energy levels. And my favorite thing about this is it's super easy.
Digestion too.
Digestion, it's super easy. And that's this. After breakfast, lunch, and dinner, walk for 5 minutes. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to go outside and go for a 5-minute walk. So what I do is after a meal at home is I stand up and I run around or play with my 2-year-old for 5 minutes. That's it. So it could be anything. It could be literally, basically it's don't just eat and then sit down and do nothing. Get up and for at least 5 minutes move. And again, it sounds silly, but the studies show that this has profound impacts on things like insulin, blood sugar, digestion, and health. And if you do the math, 5 minutes 3 times a day is 15 minutes a day. Do that by 7 days a week, and you actually have like a significant amount of activity that you just added to your day.
So we didn't write this down, but I want to add this to the physical health one because this is going to be something I do, and I just recently talked about this. Is a sleep routine. So since we're addressing physical health, since we're doing things that I think are good, small, easy places to start, like these 2 things, add the 5 minutes of walking every day after your meals, and then build a sleep routine. And that looks different for everybody. So if you've never done a sleep routine, maybe just committing to a time that you always would have bet, or you've never turned your lights off, after 6 p.m. and done like or you've never done blue blockers after 6, whatever that is.
It's basically a routine to prepare for bed.
Right.
That's it.
So create a sleep routine for yourself. And again, it could be,
By the way, one of the reasons why this is so effective is it sets the stage psychologically for sleep, because we live in modern times and we have electricity. It's our brains basically think it's daytime until we put our head on the pillow, and it takes a second, more than a second, it takes something like an hour or 2 for the brain to process. Oh, it's time to sleep. Oh, it's time to kind of wind down. Now, for most of human history, that naturally happened because it got darker, and the brain perceived this. And we all automatically had a sleep routine. Like, oh, it's getting dark. I'm not going to be roaming around because there's predators.
Gotta wrap it up quick here.
Everybody gather around. Let's start the fire. And by the way, you do this with babies too. They'll teach you to help babies get better sleep, to have a sleep routine. I don't know if you guys, did this, but it's like, oh, bath time, massage them with lavender, lotion or whatever, put the pajamas on and it helps them sleep better. So it could be anything, but, and I recommend people do this for about at least an hour before bed. And it could be literally, again, lights off or no TV or chamomile tea or whatever before bed to create that routine.
Well, it's that point of both of those things with sleep routine and also like creating this walking habit. I mean, for me, anecdotally, was huge because of the digestion component that was briefly mentioned. It was because that would carry with me into especially the first couple hours of my sleep. It was like I would know right away whether or not I was going to get good sleep or not, because it would affect the way my body would react while I was sleeping. And to be able to, properly digest the food, go through its motions, that helped me then to increase my quality sleep.
Well, and notice, okay, we're the resistance training revolution guys and deadlift, squat, bodybuilder dudes, and we didn't say anything about training, weight training, even though we talk and we tout the benefits and of that. Yeah. But when you set goals like this, the idea is, I think these are some of the biggest rocks.
Start with this.
We'll get there.
Right. That a majority of people neglect. And even the people that are into working out are neglecting these small things that we can add into the routine. And then as you build momentum and consistency around those, these things will only help you be more consistent with the strength training, hopefully in the future.
Yes. And I'm glad you said that this is beneficial for people who even work out. That 5 minutes after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even for people who are super fit, work out all the time, if you're not doing this and you do it, there are health benefits. Again, studies will show this. But I tell you what, if we took every single inactive person in America and they all committed to a 5-minute walk after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'll tell you right now, by the end of the year, if they were consistent, by the end of the year, they'd probably be adding strength training, extra cardio, extra activity. It would naturally happen. And again, that's the point with what we're talking about here.